Hello everyone and welcome to another Watercolor Wednesday. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're staying healthy and you aren't going too stir crazy in your houses. If you are, join me painting this week's watercolor or go back and watch some past ones. I got a couple really fun paintings to do and they do not take a lot of time at all. So this week we're going to do this cute little rainboot painting with the little flower sprigs coming out. I thought it was just super fun for spring and April showers, bring May flowers. So yeah, let's get started doing this little painting. So this painting is on a 4x4 square. So I just took a paper cutter and cut out the square. And then the markers that I will be using are number 45 sepia, number 86 African violet, number 88 terracotta, number 20 magenta, number 29 Prussian blue, number 15 olive green, and then number 17 still blue. So we're going to use those colors, and then we will also use, you don't have to do this, but I'm also going to use a Motlow. Let's see, is that right? Yeah. Molotow art masking fluid pen. So I'll show you more about this in a minute. You can use this, you don't have to use this, but that is what I use to achieve my polka dots. And then, again, you have a palette, a cup of water, and a paper towel just to kind of dab off any excess water. So let's get started. We're going to begin with our cute little rain boots here. We're going to stamp them up in two colors. I'm going to start with sepia. So all over with sepia, followed by African violet. All right, so I'm going to ink that or stamp this below center, but in the center of my paper. All right, so there are our cute little rain boots. So now here comes the masking fluid. So this will let you place this anywhere on your painting, and then once it dries, you can paint right over it and then you can remove it. So I just thought it'd be cute to add some little polka dots. So I'm just gonna sporadically put them here and there. You can make big ones, you can make lines, however you want to do it. You'll want this to be kind of thick so you can remove it. So that's kind of why I'm dabbing it multiple times in one spot, just to make sure that it's like a nice thick little dot. So again, add as little or as many dots as you would like. Again, you don't have to do this step if you don't have one of these. You can just paint them in solid, add a little detail later with like a secondary color. Whatever you'd like to do. Okay, so I have to give this time to dry, so I'm just kind of going to fan it for a second because I cannot add color over it while it's wet. It doesn't take very long to dry though, so shouldn't be too bad here. All right, yes, we are good. Okay, so next I'm going to just drag some color out of the lines. I don't need to drag too much of this because I am going to be painting them in pretty dark, but I'm going to drag right here, kind of where that boot is creating a shadow. And then back here again. If you hear my children, just ignore them. We're all home together. Joys of no school and quarantine, right? I am going to drag a little bit out on this side. I'm going to drag out from the top here, and then kind of on the top of this like cuff of the boot. And then I'm going to drag a little bit right here underneath, like kind of like to create a shadow underneath the boots here. And then obviously I'll do the soles of the boots. Get a little bit more water here. So I don't want to like pull out a ton of color, but just enough. Okay. All right, so there we go. So next, I'm actually going to paint the boots in with African Violet. So I'm just going to put a little African Violet onto my palette here. Dip my brush in water, pinch it off, and just get a little bit here on the edge. And I'm going to start where the color would be the darkest. So this boot would be, you know, kind of casting a shadow on that one. So since these, you know, have the rounded toes, I am going to try to feather my color. This time I am going to paint everything in because I added those polka dots. But I'm going to try to make like the center, like where there would be a little reflection, super light. So I'm just then going to take and just kind of feather the color right there, just so it has a hint of the African Violet and not just pure white. Just again, so you can see those polka dots once I remove the masking fluid. Otherwise, what's the point of the polka dots? They would just totally disappear if we didn't give everything a shade or value of color. So I'm going to make it a little darker kind of down here under the toes. Hope you guys aren't going too stir crazy. We haven't been too bad. We've kind of enjoyed family time here. I think my children are going. It's starting. They're acting like it's a little bored, you know, over school and the computer. Okay. So then I'm going to keep going back, layering to make different parts darker. Just like every other painting with watercolor, the more layers you do, the darker your color gets. So, and then as I feather over, I just have to remember, you know, that I want that white area in the center. So like I don't accidentally, you know, paint that too dark. Excuse me, I'm fighting a slight little cold. Just a cold, I promise. But, okay, I'm going to stop right here for now. And I'm going to let that my boots dry, and I'm going to do the accents on here, and then I'll come back and add one more little shade over it to make it darker. So I'm going to do my accents in Prussian blue. I didn't want a big contrast on my boots, but I wanted enough. So I'm just take Prussian blue and, you know, paint them in. I am going to leave white here though. It doesn't have to be too much because the flowers will kind of come over it. And then same thing, kind of like where there would be a light spot on the boots, I'm going to leave white. So go over it a couple times in areas you want dark. Okay. If you'd like, you can even add just a little bit more African violet into your soles, just to get that, you know, really dark down there, since that is the bottom of the shoe. But okay, it looks like my rain boots are pretty good and dry here, so I'm gonna go back one more time with my color here and just kind of darken them up. I need a little bit more here in my palette. So you don't necessarily have to do brush strokes. I'm just, you know, kind of dabbing, going around. Make it your own. Okay. I'm going to leave those right there. Okay. So next we're going to add our flowers, and we're going to start with this daisy bunch. And I just realized I did not show you guys the stamps that we're using for this. So one moment. Okay, sorry guys, I completely forgot to show you what stamps we're using for this picture. Didn't even dawn on me. So we're going to do for the shoe set, we're going to do the rain boots. In the original flower set, the daisy bunch. In the original foliage set, the small grasses. In the watering can set, we're going to use this long stem flower right here. And then in the foliage set 3, you can use either one of these vines right here. Again, I apologize. So, anyways, so back to our painting. We're going to use the daisy bunch first. And I'm going to use the terracotta. And I'm going to ink up the entire stamp. And then, you know, add my big bunch of blooms here. Always stamp it a few times before you reapply the ink. Make it, you know, as full as you like. Don't or as little. I like a full basket. I like a full thing of shoes. Okay. So I'm not going to add my water quite yet to this. I'm going to move on to this long stem bunch. And this long stem bunch I'm going to do in 2 colors. I'm going to do the magenta for the blooms and then olive green for the stem. So I'm just going to start with the magenta here. And paint all the blooms. And then I'm going to do the, oh, I didn't paint all that one right there. And then the olive green for the stem, but I'm not going to go all the way down. Just going to kind of go halfway. And then these will come just sticking right up out of the flowers on top there. You know, again, use your own colors. Whatever palette makes you happy goes with your decor. And then I'm also just going to add a couple like over here. So you can see the stems going down in there. So if you don't want to do that, you don't have to paint your stem at all. Or you can always do some, blanking on the name right now, Oh, Post-it tape. Okay, so before I add my leaves, I'm still not going to add water to this, but our leaves are going to be next. And I'm done with my flowers, or my boots here. So I'm going to take an eraser first. And I'm going to erase and remove my masking fluid. I needed to wait to do this step until everything on my boot was dry. So that is why, like, I went ahead and started with flowers before I did this. So you could also even just use your finger, like, you know, no biggie. Okay, so that fluid apparently was still wet. Okay, so, and now you have cute little polka dots. So then we're going to come back and do our vines here. And I'm not going to use the whole vine, so I'm just going to ink up the tip of them and just kind of have them popping out over here behind the flowers. I think I'm going to do like one right here, and then some kind of coming over over the top of the boots. And then I'll do some on this side as well. Okay, so I think that's all the vine I'm going to do for now. So now we're going to add our color. Or I'm sorry, our water. I can't speak today, can I? Okay, so I'm going to start with my orange flowers, and I'm just going to, you know, dab, making sure I leave some white space. Oh, see, right there, I added too much water, so that's going to be nice and blended, and that's okay. Sometimes I really like when they're really blended where you can't really tell. So again, you know, if you want to make it slightly fuller in some areas, just carry your color out from the flowers. Okay, now I'm going to do my magenta blooms first. Okay, and then last, we will go over our leaves here. And then I am just going to kind of touch, you don't have to touch the stems, but I'm just going to try to brighten them up here with color. Okay, so there's that portion, and the last to do is our little grasses. So ink your grass up with the olive green and kind of stamp it around your boots here. As much or as little as you like. Just kind of walk it down, and then pinch your brush, dip your brush in water, pinch it off, and drag that color up and out of your grass. You guys been doing anything fun as you stay home? Have you made any project? Have you attempted watercolor? Let me know. I'd love to see what you're working on. Okay, so last thing to do, we're going to put a little bit of our steel blue on our palette and just add a touch of sky here and there. So I'm going to start like this is just screaming for a little sky. We'll put a little sky right down here. A little sky on this side. A little sky kind of right here. Won't even do that much, just a little line. And then a little bit right, ooh, let me get some more water. And then a little bit right up there. And that's it, guys. We're done. I'm going to take the thin tip of my olive green and sign and date it. And there you have a fun, cute little painting for spring. What also would be super cute, here, I'm going to do it on this painting. I'm going to put a tiny bit of magenta on my palette. So this one I left the polka dots all white. But this one, I think I'm going to add a little color to them, because why not? So I'm just going to take a tiny bit of sepia, and I'm just going to like add a touch of magenta into those polka dots. I think it'd be super cute even with like yellow, making rainbow colors. Like how cute would that be? I feel like there's one right there. There. Now they're just a cute little, super cute little polka dots. So, let me zoom out a little. And there, now you have two cute little versions. Make, you know, colored polka dots, paint this in solid, and then do some stripes. However you want to do it, they are perfect to, you know, make into a card, pop in a frame, use as your spring decor. Yeah, like I hope you guys enjoy these videos. Let me know if you have any suggestions for me. Stay tuned next week when I will be back with an all new tutorial. Thanks. Have a good one.